everyone, welcome to Cindy's Corner. Hey, it is the end of my work week and I'm ready to kick back and relax, and guess what? It is my birthday. So I'm going to make something extra special for myself that I haven't made in a long time and is just a really nice treat. And we're going to get started with the snack, and that is going to involve strawberries, and we're going to actually make something called deviled strawberries. I'm sure you've all heard of deviled eggs. Well, this is a dessert take on the deviled egg, where we're going to take a hollowed out strawberry and we're going to fill it with some cheesecake filling, and it's going to be super delicious. So I've already done a bunch of the strawberries, so I'm going to start with 2 fresh ones and I'll show you how this works. So you have your nice medium size, large, it doesn't matter what size they are. You're going to clean it, wash it, dry it, okay? And then we're going to cut it from the top down to the tip. So right through the center, we're going to cut it right in half. And of course, now this is what it looks like, okay? So what we want to do is create a divot in here for the cream cheese filling to go in. Now you could, I've got like my metal measuring spoons, you could do that. I actually found what worked well for me was to use a melon baller. If you don't have one of these, I suggest you get one. It comes in handy, especially when you're making fruit salads and things. But because of the nature of this thing, the edge is a little sharper than my metal measuring spoons. You could also use just a teaspoon. And what I found worked well was to take the edge of my melon baller, and up here is near the stem end is where the hull is. So I just kind of wiggled the edge of my melon baller in there, and I gently twirled. The main thing is you don't want to go all the way through the strawberries. So you scoop out a divot here, and that part you can save it, or I'm tossing it, but you can save it for a smoothie if you like. Now, the thing about strawberries that we like is that they're very juicy. So there is a lot of liquid in here, so I'm going to take a paper towel and I'm going to dab all around there. And that will make it better for when we put the filling in. Okay? All right, and here's the other half. Okay, so again, we take our melon baller, we're going to go up near the hull end of it, wiggle that in just to get that edge in. Remember, you're doing this very gently because you don't want to go all the way through. And I'm gently wiggling it around, and then I twirl it, and then I get my scoop. Okay, so now it's very moist, so we're going to see how much juice is coming off. We're going to dab it, okay, and there we go. And I've got one more here we're going to do, and then we're going to stuff them. Okay, so again, you take your strawberry, we're going to cut it from the top all the way through in half. We got our 2 halves. And I take my melon baller and I gently go, wiggle it a little bit, and then I twirl it. And I would kind of cradle the strawberry with your hand so that it supports it. Okay, got a little leaf there. Let's take that out of there. And again, we're going to dab it, get some of that excess moisture out of there. Okay, one more half. Again, cradle it in your hand to support it. Take your edge of your melon baller gently, and if it's a smaller, you know, this one's a bit smaller, so maybe this is what, a 1/4 teaspoon, maybe that would be a good size for this one. And you're just going to twirl around till you get your little scoop out. Okay, and again, paper towel, lots of moisture there, so we want to make sure we dab that. Okay, great. Okay, now I'm going to move this stuff out of the way, and let's move this, and we'll wipe the board off just a little bit. Okay, So now I can actually get them on the plate. Okay, so let's get our plate out. And we're gonna start putting our strawberries on here, and then we're gonna go to town and fill them. So you put them on your plate any way you like. I'm just gonna kind of line them up across the field here, like that. Okay, and now what I did last night, now you can do this all in one go if you like, but what I did last night was I made the filling and I put it in the fridge to kind of let all the flavors gel together. All the ingredients measurements will be in the description box, so don't be sure to check that out. This is one of the super simple recipes because for this kind of cream cheese filling, because it doesn't have very many ingredients. It's got cream cheese, confectioner's sugar, vanilla, and a little bit of cream, and that's it. There's lots of different variations. I've seen some recipes that have like sour cream in it, some that added lemon juice. All of those sound wonderful, but you know, I wanted something really easy. So I'm just going to take my scissors here and cut the tip of this off. And I'm new to piping bags, so this is kind of a journey for me. So what I'm kind of finding works well for me is to have two bags. One bag that I stuff and set in the fridge for some hours or overnight, and then I have another bag that has a tip. So this, I have a star tip on here, so it has a little like that. Okay, and then I'm going to put this inside, and I think that for me that makes it a little easier. You can see that coming out. Okay, so now I'm just going to make a swirl here and fill each one of these. You know, having them all set up on your plate makes that very easy. Actually, I have one here that's kind of hiding underneath the one next to it, so I gotta move these around a little bit. This guy, he's not anywhere where I can get him. Now it's up to you how much you want to fill these. I'm kind of just filling them. I might actually go back and put some more, but that looks good to me. Now I'll give you some ideas of what else you can do with these. There we go. Yeah, maybe a little more on that one. So actually I have a lot. I made a double recipe of this because I can envision having more of this over the weekend. And so this is really looks great. Okay, so I'm going to put this to the side, and this is how these guys are looking. Actually, this one I think you need a little bit more, just a little bit more there. Okay, that looks good. Now another idea that you can do this. So this is basically our deviled strawberries. Okay, so this is what they look like. This looks really pretty. You could use this almost any time of year that you can get strawberries, okay? But if you wanted to make it a little more fancy, you could put some grated chocolate shavings over top, or I got to store these. These are inexpensive cookies. Here's chocolate and vanilla. You could crumble some cookies or some graham crackers even and sprinkle it on top. I'm not going to do that, but I think that would be very cute. Okay, so there's our snack for tonight. I can't wait to dig into this. So I'm going to put this aside, and then we're going to make my favorite cocktail, the Cosmopolitan, but we're going to do it Cindy's way. Okay, so let's put this to the side, and let's get our things together. Okay, so Cosmopolitan is vodka. You have to have an orange liqueur. So tonight I'm using triple sec, could be Cointreau, and the other star is cranberry juice. And my secret weapon, this is how I like my Cosmos. I like to use Rose's Sweetened Lime Juice. to me, I liked my Cosmos to be sweet and tart. Okay, so this gives it to me. Okay, so let me get my shot glass and we'll start measuring. Okay, so I also tend to make my cocktails lighter, and that's totally up to you. You can add more spirits or less, up to you. So I'm going to add 1 ounce of vodka to my shaker. Then we're going to add 1/2 ounce of the orange liqueur. Basically, I always go like however much vodka you're adding, then add half of that for the orange liqueur. You don't want that to be overpowering, okay? All right, now for the Rose's lime juice, sweetened lime juice, I also add 1/2 ounce. Anywhere from 1/2 ounce to 1 ounce of that, okay? And now for the cranberry juice, I typically add about 3 ounces. So when I make this, I add about 3 ounces, and then, you know, I probably have a cocktail and a half. You know, we'll see. We'll see when, after we shake it, how much I have left over. Okay, so let's get our top on. And remember, whenever you're shaking a shaker, you want to shake it till it's really cold. And you can tell because your hands kind of feel frozen. And you can also see a lot of condensation on the side of your shaker. Okay, so let's get our glass. So I've got a lovely, this is a thrifted etched coupe glass that I really enjoy. These just make me feel like I'm in the cast of a Thin Man, you know, one of those Nick Charles and Nora and movies. And to garnish, we're gonna have a lime wheel on the side, and there we go. So here's our whole menu for tonight. We've got our Cindi's Cosmopolitan and our deviled strawberries. So you take care, have a great weekend, cheers, and I will see you soon.